What's up, guys? This is the Yoop.
She called me Dickie Cortez when she introduced me. Money running out, I'm hungry, I'm at the jaw now. Jackson Bricky, my nigga, I'm ready to ball now. It's never to the shine.
Given our round 2 matchups of the NHL playoffs, we're gonna quickly go over the round 1 results and what we had going into round 1 and what we are going to have in round 2. So we'll start it off. Bert, we had Carolina and the Islanders. Bert took Islanders in 6, and I took Carolina in 6. The result of that game that series, was Carolina in 6. I was correct. Bert, unfortunately, was wrong. How do you feel about the series?
It was a good series. The Sorokin did what I thought he was going to do and stole a couple games, but Carolina was definitely the better team. Definitely look like they're missing a couple pieces, so like Sebastian Aho, so we'll see how they do in the next round, but yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, no, I was a little worried about Carolina without, Sebastian Aho. Huge piece of that team, and, they pulled out a quick 4-game series, or 6-game series, They won 4. And, yeah, I ended up with the right prediction. What I thought was going to happen happened, and, yeah.
Good call.
Quickly moving on, we had Florida and Boston. Bert had Florida in 4. I took Boston in 5. Bert was closer on this one. He had Florida in 4. Florida came out and magically beat the Bruins in 7. What a great series that was. Florida showed that they have a lot of willpower and a lot of fight in them. Bert, what do you got to say about that?
I mean, like Matthew Tkachuk said, everybody counted them out, and you can't ever count out a team in hockey. Like, hockey's just a game where it can go one way or another, and just like what happened here. I mean, I had Florida in 4. That was kind of a daydream almost, but I didn't think Boston was going to come out too hot because of how good their regular season was. I was thinking they would go down the road like the Lightning did, where they got swept in the first round after their historic season. And, yeah, I'm happy I chose Florida in this one.
Yeah, that was a great call. I mean, Florida in 4 was a daydream, but they somehow pulled it out in 7 against the best team in the NHL and in NHL history. Wow, Boston with the complete choke job there. I thought they could pull it out. I didn't think Florida would be that powerful against Boston, who was the best team in the NHL and NHL history. I thought I had them going in 5. Clearly it wasn't the case. Florida showed out, and Matthew Tkachuk played an excellent series. I got high hopes with him with Toronto coming up. And yeah, that's basically all we got to do. Florida in 7 was the result there. But moving on, Minnesota and Dallas. Bert had Dallas in 7, and I took Dallas in 6. The result of that series was Dallas in 6. How do you feel about that series? I feel like that series was very weird, honestly. Gustafsson was playing great. Oettinger was playing great. Great goaltending throughout the whole series.
That's what I was going to say. The goaltending was way better than I expected it to. I mean, everybody expected Oettinger to come out and steal a game or two, but Gustafsson, man, he looked good.
He looked
good in that series.
Really good.
And I feel like Dallas had the deeper lineup, and their Minnesota's more of like a defense heavy type of team, and they got that top line who just scores all their goals and stuff. So I think Dallas's depth really helped them out here.
Oh yeah, 100% agree. I love Dallas going into this series. I thought they were just overall a great team. I mean, they had some injuries going down the line. Like, Pavelski was huge. Very chippy series. And, Dallas pulled it off in 6. I thought they could do it. I think that the Wild...
I forgot about Pavelski getting hurt.
Yeah, right? That was crazy. But I really thought that Dallas was going to win in 6. I think the Minnesota Wild will always have first-round problems like the Leafs. Now they don't anymore, but I think the Wild are going down the Leafs era of the first round exit type of thing. I don't know. I think Minnesota still needs a few more pieces to grow and develop, and even maybe hopefully they trade for someone or sign somebody in free agency or off season. But
I completely agree.
I think Minnesota just needs help all around with depth, and I think Dallas just had them beat with the depth area of that.
100%. And with Pavelski going down and them still coming out of this series in 6, that just speaks to their depth. They lose one of their I mean, veteran guys in Joe Pavelski and still take the series in 6. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Overall result for that series was Dallas in 6. But moving on, we have the Kings versus the Oilers. Bert had Edmonton in 5. I just said Edmonton. I guess I didn't take a pick on how many games they were going to win, but the result of that series was just Edmonton in 6. Going to this, we both had a great feeling that Edmonton would beat the Kings. We did think the Kings would steal a few games, of course, but Edmonton with Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, I did not see them losing to the Kings, really, in the series. Edmonton showed out. They showed that they can make a playoff push or a finals push. And I still believe that. They played great. The Kings, though, on the other hand, they're a team that can score whenever. They're very gritty, I would say. They're very fast-paced. And it apparently didn't wear down the Edmonton Oilers. But, yeah, I had Edmonton, and Bert had Edmonton in 5. Bert, what do you got to say about this series?
So a big talking point down the stretch was the Kings trading away Jonathan Quick for Korpisalo. And, I mean, it ended up being a good move for them. I thought Korpisalo looked great in the playoffs, at least in the first couple games. And, yeah, the Kings gave Edmonton a run for their money. I thought Edmonton would just overpower them with McDavid having a historic season, Draisaitl playing like he always does. And, I mean, for the first half of the series, Connor McDavid didn't really do anything. And it looked like the Kings were going to have the edge. But Draisaitl was still turning up. And then as soon as McDavid got started, the Oilers started cooking. And that's what you got, Edmonton in 6. So.
Oh, yeah. One thing to touch up on what you just said before, Korpisalo had a great series, in my opinion, which came out of the blue. Obviously, he didn't get the job done, but he did a lot better than I think what most people expected.
Mm-hmm.
He had some great saves throughout the series, and overall just played pretty good. Just couldn't get the job done. Excited what the Kings have to go on for next season. Maybe they can make a few more trades and hopefully build up their team. But yeah, Edmonton in 6 with that result, that series. But moving on, this series, man, oh gosh, Rangers and Devils. We both had Rangers in 7. The result of that was the Devils in 7. We were very upset.
I'm heartbroken, man.
Yeah, Bert, take the floor. You're the Rangers fan here.
So we both knew this series was going 7. It was going to be a battle either way. I was texting with all my Devils fans, friends. Well, I said it right the first time. But I was texting all of them like after the first couple games, and they were telling me, "Oh, the series is over. The series is over." And I was saying the same thing after the Devils went up 3-2. So it's heartbreaking. You knew the series was gonna go 7. It's the Battle of the Hudson, and yeah, the Devils were the better team. After the first 2 games, they made adjustments. The Rangers couldn't really pick it up after that. They had a couple close games afterwards, but in the 2 Devils shutout wins, the Devils controlled the entire game, and the Rangers couldn't do anything about it. And it's kind of embarrassing when you have that many stars in the top 6. You have arguably one of the best goalies in the league, and it's just disappointing, man.
Very well said. One thing to touch up on that series, we were pretty heartbroken about it, but dude, Schmid came out and played, man. Oh my God, he literally played better than Igor, and he's only played like a handful of NHL games. Gets thrown in midway through the series for the Devils for a potential spark plug, and that's exactly what he did. He came in and showed out and really helped the Devils. Game 7, bro, he posted a shutout. Rangers had way more shots than the Devils, and the Devils just got the job done with Schmid in net, and history was history. I mean, it's crazy to say. The Devils were so young. I did not think they were going to even really push the series that far. But like you said, the Hudson battle there, it's going to be chippy. It's going to go long. It's going to go deep. So yeah, the result unfortunately was Devils in 7. Hopefully they can, their young star talent can keep going forward. But we'll get to my prediction with that series coming up.
Rangers, hold this L. You deserve it, man. You deserve that L so bad. But like, what the hell, man? Yeah. Fire the coach, trade everybody. Oh my God.
Yeah, what a disgrace.
That's ridiculous.
Moving on, we have Tampa Bay versus Toronto. Bert had Tampa Bay in 7, as well as me. I had Tampa Bay in 7. The result, Toronto in 6, finally breaking out of the first round.
Wow, dude, they finally got it done.
Crazy, bro. I would never thought that they could do it, but they got the job done. Tampa Bay looked pretty awful. Vasilevsky looked not like himself at all. The offense was there. I mean, they did what they could, but Toronto just overpowered them in 6 and got the job done. Other than that, I think Vasilevsky had a terrible series, and that's what it all comes down to, goaltending. So.
Well said. This series was really back and forth. With I don't know, what was the game 2 was like 7-3 Lightning. Then the next game was 7-3 Toronto's. Weird series, but the Toronto Stars really showed out this series, whereas the Tampa Stars just didn't. And in the games that it really counted, like games 5, 6, the Tampa Stars just, I think for game 6 they got benched for a period or something like that, which is ridiculous. But I mean, you heard that happening towards the end of the regular season. They got benched, and when it mattered, they got benched. So that's kind of embarrassing for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who made it to the Eastern Conference Final the past 4 years. But I mean, it was bound to happen, and Toronto's a really good team. So good for them getting out of the first round finally after 8 years. But
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, good series.
Yeah, very good series. But moving on, we got Winnipeg and Vegas. What a good series out of that. Bert had Winnipeg in 6. I had Vegas in 6. The result of that series was Vegas in 5. Was that like a surprise? Was that a surprise, Vegas in 5?
I don't know if it was a surprise. I thought they were definitely the better team on paper. However, I didn't think they were going to be able to just put it all together going straight into playoffs like that, because they had a couple guys come back from injury and stuff. But yeah, man, they looked good. They looked really good. I thought Blake Wheeler was going to have a much better series. Kyle Connor, who I don't think he scored a goal, or
I think he did.
Okay, I could be wrong though.
But he really didn't show up.
Honestly, this series was the one I watched the least out of everything on the board. So
yeah, but my thoughts on this series, I love Vegas going really far, probably making a cup run. Eichel played out of his mind, I think. And unfortunately, Winnipeg did deal with a lot of injuries that, held them up. Morrissey was out, Perfetti was out, Ehlers was out. Hellebuck did not look good at all, and Vegas was just firing on all cylinders. I don't know if you guys remember, but we were talking about how Vegas is now all back healthy when, they weren't the whole season. So, I mean, yeah, I loved Vegas. I think they're going to make a huge run. They look great right now. But yeah, keep it short and simple there. We had Vegas in 6. He had Winnipeg in 6. Result was Vegas in 5. Now, the last series of the round 1 was Seattle and Colorado. Bert took Colorado in 7. I had Colorado in 5. The result?
Grubauer in 7.
Grubauer in 7, baby.
Seattle, stand up.
Seattle.
Come on.
Stand up. If you're from Seattle and you're a Kraken fan, please drop some love in the comments.
All the crackheads, give us some love in the comments.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I'm so happy for you guys. First playoff in franchise history, and you guys got out of round 1 against a really tough Colorado team in 7. Grubauer, man, we were talking about it last time. I didn't really have much faith in you, but I had all hope at the end of the day. Grubauer in 7, like I was saying, like we were just saying. Seattle, man, that was such an electric series. One key takeaway: Kraken looked great. Grubauer looked good. I thought they were going to go with like a little goalie rotation, but they just ended up sticking with Grubauer, which I think was a smart decision. Mm-hmm. Bert, any last final thoughts on this series?
I mean, Colorado's just not the team they were last year, and that was pretty self-evident in this series. So, yeah, hats off to Seattle. I think top to bottom they looked good. Their whole all 4 lines were rolling, and yeah, just a good series.
Oh yeah, so that's our round 1 results. Touch up on our predictions, give you guys what happened and what we thought was going to happen. But now we're going to move on to round 2. Our first matchup, we got Florida and Toronto. Bert, what you got for your prediction? How many games is it going? And who's winning?
I'm going with 6 games, and I think Florida's gonna take this one and shock the world.
Yet again.
I think a lot of exactly. Yet again. I think they got a lot of confidence after beating Boston, and Toronto's on a roll, man. This is gonna be a really good series, but I don't know. Some about Matthew Tkachuk tells me they're winning in 6.
I like your take on the confidence from Florida. I think that they're rolling with a huge steam. You know, they got a huge ego after that series with Boston going 7 and evidently winning in 7.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, though, I got Toronto in 7. I think Florida can push it. They're gonna be gritty throughout the whole series. It's gonna be good, but I think Toronto can just do it. I think they're the better team. Although I would love to see the Panthers win. I think Toronto just gets the job done. They've just looked so good. Marner, Matthews, Nylander. I mean, it's gonna be hard to beat them. But I got Toronto in 7. I think it's gonna go deep.
I like that.
All right, and moving on, Seattle versus Dallas. Bert.
I'm taking Dallas in 7 games. I think this series is gonna be a lot tougher than people expect. I think Dallas is the better team slightly. But I was reading something that said Dallas was like one of the least physical teams in the NHL. They were last in hits or something like that. And Seattle was, I think, top 3 in hits. So it's definitely going to be a grittier series than people may think right off the bat. But I do think Dallas is the better team, and I think they take this in 7.
Good take.
Let's go Seattle, though. I'm rooting for Seattle.
So I am gonna take Seattle in 6 here. I love Grubauer last series, man. He's been a little up and down for me, but I think he could possibly give Dallas a run for their money. I do think Oettinger's way better than Grubauer in that, but I think Kraken can just put up a lot more shots than Dallas at the end of it, which call me crazy, but I don't know. Robertson hasn't really been looking too good, in my opinion. At least not what he looked like in the beginning of the season when he was putting up 3 goals and 2 assists every game and stuff like that. But I don't know. Seattle looked great. They look like their chemistry is on point 100%. Dallas, I mean, bringing the Wild to 6 wasn't really too crazy, but I mean, hey, I think Seattle can get it done in 6 here. Moving on though, we got Devils versus Carolina. I got Carolina in 6 here. I think they could just beat the Devils. Although Schmid has been playing out of his mind and Jack Hughes, doing Jack Hughes things. The Devils have been looking good. Yes, their chemistry has been looking good, but Carolina is a very, very good team. Even though the Islanders did give them a run for their money, I think Carolina can just get the job done like they always do and just kind of embarrass the Devils a little bit. I do think the Devils will steal too, but I got Carolina in 6 here. What you got?
So I hate both these teams, and I hope both these teams lose, but one of them has to win. And I think the Devils are probably the better team, especially after watching them beat the Rangers. Like you said, Akira Schmid is on point. Jack Hughes looks sick, and Heischer looks like he's due for a goal. I think he had 4 or 5 assists in the first game. Or in the first series, and who else? Timo Meier is due for. I don't think he has a point in the playoffs so far, so he's due. And I'm taking the Devils in 5 here. I don't think Carolina's that great of a team, honestly. I think they had trouble with an Islanders team who arguably shouldn't have been in the playoffs in the first place, but I don't know. I just think Carolina's got a lot of holes in their lineup where the Devils are just a solid team.
Yeah. Going back to the Rangers and Devils series, we're gonna pull the clip up right here.
Was coming off the bench, so Meier doesn't see him. The door of the Ranger bench is open.
But oh my God, Trouba's hit on Timo Meier. Oh my God.
That was crazy.
Doesn't matter. Rangers suck because they just lost to the Devils in 7. But That hit was crazy.
Hopefully Timo Meier's okay. I think I saw him in the handshake line after the game, though, so I think he's good.
Yeah, I think he's good too. But wow, that's a disgusting hit.
That hit was crazy.
All right, well,
Clean too.
Yeah, very clean. But moving on, Edmonton versus Vegas. What you gotta say about it?
This series is gonna be insane. I'm taking the over in every single game. Same thing with Florida, Toronto. I think those are going to be two series that are going to be they're going to be scoring every minute of the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Edmonton in 7. I'm thinking Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. I'm going to say the same thing that I said for them for the first round. I think the star power just takes over. You got Eichel, Stone, Theodore. You got a good team over there in Vegas. This is Eichel versus McDavid for the first time in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Those two were picked back-to-back in the draft, so that's kind of cool. But, I'm taking Connor McDavid in 7. I mean, the Oilers in 7.
Oh, that's funny. Unfortunately, I'm not riding with Bert here. I'm going to be taking Vegas in 5. Call me crazy. But Stuart Skinner has not been looking too good. And Vegas has been looking really good. They've been firing on all cylinders. Eichel's been playing crazy, where McDavid really hasn't been turning up too much. I mean, he did what he had to do in the later games of the series against the Kings, but I think Eichel and the Vegas Knights can really just get it going. I got one thing to say to the fans, though. If you are a Vegas fan, do you guys think you have a potential chance to actually make the Cup and potentially even win? I think you guys do, but let us know down in the comments if you guys think you actually have a good chance of winning. I think Eichel's been playing out of his mind, and he's probably the front runner for the playoff MVP, in my opinion.
Arguably the best team in the West.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I mean, I think so. I think they're the best team coming out of the West. Definitely going to watch a lot of that series this week and next week. So
it's going to be a gritty series. It's going to be exciting, but I'm so excited. NHL playoffs are finally here, and it's getting going in round 2. But that's all for today. This has been the U. Tune in next time for another NHL Round 3 playoff prediction.
I went undrafted, they dissing me. Keep talking down, though I love it.
Like and subscribe, because we're the best.
Oh, yeah.